heading out on another gold prospecting adventure. Appalachian Prospectors. Hello everybody, Prospector Jack here of Appalachian Prospectors. Hillbilly John is with us too, but he's behind the scenes, he's watching the camera. And today we are with Brother Joseph, and he is the creator of the GreenMountain Gold Trap.
How you doing?
And we are going to spend the day out on the river with him, and we're going to put the gold traps to the, put them to the test.
Oh yeah.
And see how they work. And it's kind of like an introduction for us too. You know, we like new equipment, and we've seen this. We've seen videos of the GreenMountain Gold Trap, and we really like it. They look like they work great. So we're going to be out on the river today testing them out. So we're going to interview Joseph here, and hopefully some of your questions may be answered. I wrote my questions down on my cell phone, so I'm going to read them right off of there, so I don't forget.
Teleprompter.
Yeah, it is my teleprompter. So.
Don't worry, I'd have to do the same thing myself.
Yeah. My first question is, what necessity was the mother of invention?
Okay. Once upon a time, I owned a bazooka gold trap. Now, I didn't always do good with it, and you know, I'm a creature of curiosity. So I decided to build one clear to try to discover why. And I made those discoveries. So that's, I guess, the answer to your question on that. And, I mean, when you're dealing with black ABS plastic, you can't see what's going on. So that was the big downfall. And then the rest comes later with once I built it clear.
Yeah. All right, so how does the GreenMountain Gold Trap work?
Okay,
What is the principle?
The principle, I mean, you're dealing with a fluidized trap. So that's the main body of a fluid bed. Many people call it a sluice, but I'm trying to get it patented as a classifier to try to get across all these rules with, you know, you can't have a sluice in the water. It's not a sluice. The legal definition of a sluice is something that has riffles, something that is long as in hundreds of feet, and something that has a gate to control water flow. This is none of the above.
Right, right. Now, is the GreenMountain Gold Trap easy to set up?
Oh, absolutely. You can get into situations, the vast majority of the time, you're going to go to a spot where you've got some pretty good running water, and you can drop this thing in quite often. You can find a spot and you can just drop it right in. And also, unlike the ABS plastic type, they tend to want to float away. You've got to like pin them in or put a board across or a branch or something with a rock on top of it. With these, you don't. They're not buoyant, and for the most part, they stay in place. Now, there are times where you can get into a situation where you need to build a wing dam. Nobody said prospecting's easy. It's a lot of work. So sometimes you do need to build a wing dam to get your trap set up. But in a lot of cases, like you just drop it in the water and you're off and running.
Nice. And that's always a nice feature, you know. You get to the stream, you want to get set up as soon as possible and get running.
Mm-hmm.
And so it don't take a lot to get it set up and fine tune it, and you can be running material in, you know, as little as just a few minutes.
Right. Yep.
Now, what makes the GreenMountain Gold Trap unique?
The uniqueness of it is the fact that it's clear. You can see, I mean, it literally tells you when it's set up properly. You can look inside that trap and see that your material's fluidized. You can see that it's not, because if you have it set up too steep in a higher velocity water flow, in the center of the capture tray from left to right, it's going to be like a plunge pool. So then you want to raise up your front end just a little bit. So you always know when it's set up right. You know when it's fluidized. And also, with the black ABS plastic type, this is something you couldn't do. You can see if there's any obstructions inside the scoop that's charging the tubes. And when you do a clean out, you can look at the bottom of your trap and see that there's any pebbles that might be blocking one of those holes. Because if one hole is plugged, it's a game changer. So you always, it's just...
Right, you can always see it. And
Yeah.
then another thing is that you can remove the drawer
Yeah.
while it's in place.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to take it
Yeah,
out.
yeah, you don't have to lift the whole unit out of the water to do a clean out. You just pull a pin. You can literally do a clean out and not have to worry about damaging your wing dam that you spent time building if you had to build one. You can pull the pin, pull the drawer out, dump it in a pan or a 5-gallon bucket, slide that thing back in there and be up and running within 10 seconds, 15 seconds tops.
Yeah, it's just a matter of pulling it out, dump it in a pan, and
Yep.
slap it back in
Yep.
there. Which is, again, very convenient. I mean, with a traditional sluice box, you've got to take that out of the water. You got to remove the riffles, remove the
Matting
and everything, and then,
miner's moss
Yeah.
or whatever you're using.
and then you got to put it all back together and then
Yep.
set it back in. And you may have created a wing dam for that, and then you got to start all over. And sometimes it takes a little more time.
Yep.
And I think also too, these are a little bit more forgiving if it's leaning left
Yeah,
or right.
They are.
Unlike the sluice box, everything will be blowing to one side and you could lose gold.
Yep.
Whereas,
And you'll see inside the trap, if you do have it, if you've got it set in the river and there's a little bit of a pitch to it left to right, you'll see inside the trap where material is heavier on one side than the other, but it's still capturing that gold.
Right.
It's amazing. It's just amazing. And I'm not saying that because I built it. It blows my mind. It's just a lot of time went into testing.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, do you have to classify material before you run it?
No. If I'm working in an area where my setup isn't where I want to dig, then yes, I'll classify material because I want to maximize the amount of material I'm bringing to the trap to run it. But other than that, no. If you can get a setup where you're digging, you're gonna go to town. That thing's gonna drop you because you can just keep on going. You can keep on going.
Which leads me to my next question. Currently, you have two different sizes. How much material can each one run?
Well, you can, as long as you want to dig. I mean, you just keep on digging. Now, I created the pay streak finder as just that, something that you can bring with you. I mean, it'll fit in a backpack or a 5-gallon bucket. And I invented that one, created that one as part of the mix to simply go out and test. But then I got to thinking, well, could you feasibly run it longer? Could you run it as long as you run the 3-foot riverbed hog? So I did some testing on that, and sure enough, you can literally run that all day long too. But I did originally create it to just be something that you go out and sample.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, and then how well do they capture fine gold?
Oh man, I've got a customer on my. One of the slogans I use is -200 mesh, no problem. So I had this customer contact me. Actually, he's on my website. One of the reviews on the website. It's Dingus and Eva, Ron Willie, and I'm sure he's watching this right now. But he was kidding around with me. He contacted me through the website, and he says, "I've got a problem with your gold trap." So I'm thinking, "Oh, great, what's this?" And so I responded to him, and then he kind of kept the fun going. He says, "Well, your slogan captures -200 mesh, no problem." And I'm like, "Okay, here we go." So he finally let on. He says, "Well, I got news for you. You need to change your slogan because I'm out here in Colorado and I've run into some stuff." And he called it pixie dust. I mean, it's like powder. And it was actually keeping it. I couldn't believe it because we have fine gold here, but nothing like that. So I was pretty impressed with that.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
And of course, it'll catch anything as big
Right.
as it will go through the
Yep.
expanded metal.
Yep. If you're into an area that you're into nuggets, then I always tell people, put a pan in front of your trap. Just put it in there, just slightly underneath, and you're not gonna lose your nuggets.
Yeah, nice. Okay, and then how swift should you run the water through, and what is ideal?
I like running them good and hot. I mean, you can really get these things cranking. They love it. They absolutely love it. But you can also run them in a more gentler stream. I mean, there again, Dingus and Eva out in Colorado. You can check out his YouTube channel. He's got videos, and you'll see where he has these things set up in pretty slow-moving water. But what he does is he builds a wing dam up to get his elevation, and then he sets his trap in. And they work good, and I've tested that too, and they do work in a lesser volume of water. But I myself, I do like running them really hot, or as hot as I can get them.
Nice. So is the clean out easy?
Oh yeah, yeah. We've already kind of talked about that. I mean, it's just as simple as pulling the pin. You pull your pin out, you pull your drawer, you dump it in a 5-gallon bucket or a pan, and you stick your hand inside the cavity where the drawer comes out. You swish that around, make sure that's clean. You dunk your trap down in, rinse your tubes out, make sure there's no obstructions, slide it back in, and you're up and running. Put your pin back in place.
Nice. And that sounds very simple. Now, how often do you need to do a clean out?
If you're anxious to see what you're on to, I mean, you can use either one as something you just go and test to see if you're in an area. Do I want to waste time here? You can dig, put 5-6 shovelfuls on, or run for a half an hour and do a clean out, or you can run all day long.
Nice. Well, that's all the questions that I have. Is there anything that you would like to add that you would like to tell our viewers?
Well, like the 3-foot riverbed hog, on some of my intro extra videos on my channel, I say 2 to 3 people can run this thing all day long. I mean, 1 person, 2 people, 3 people. In the testing process, Coin and Ring guy, he helped me do a lot of the testing. And one day we were digging what we called the trench, and we dug a pretty good sized trench. We dug this thing out in like 4 or 5 days. And what we were doing is his wife was clearing off the tailings on the classification plate while he and I were tag teaming, shoveling onto this thing. And we just hammered it. I mean, we hammered that thing all day long for a good 8 hours. So, I mean, it's just, it works. It works good. It really works good.
And if you want to know anything more, Joseph has a YouTube channel. It's a GreenMountain Gold Trap.
Yep.
So go there and check it out. He's got also a web page, right,
Yep.
where you can purchase these.
Yeah.
And so check them out and see what you think.
Yeah.
I mean, give it a try. They work good. In fact, they work great. But you can see it in action on his website. I mean, on his YouTube channel.
On the website too, which is GreenMountainGoldTrap.com.
Yeah. And we look forward. He, by the way, gave us one as a gift, and we do appreciate that. We will be doing some videos on running that. We're going to take it to New Hampshire and other places as well. And so you'll see more videos coming from us using the GreenMountain Gold Trap, which we got the 23-inch pastry finder. And, it would be a very useful tool for us to find, locate some good spots for us to put our dredge in.
Yeah.
So
That's
you'll
why I
be
gave
seeing
it to
that.
him.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. And we do appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess that's about all we have for now. And I guess we will see you on the river.
Yeah, we
So,
will.
Prospector Jack signing out. And if you are not subscribed, please subscribe and like this video, share it, and we will see you later. All right.
Catch y'all later.
Bye-bye.